Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rikakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, what a lot of these Christians and the average American, Babylonian, Egyptian, they don't understand the present moment. See, they living in the fantasy and under the deception of Esau, Edom, who is the so-called white man, and the deceiver, the Antichrist, Satan, and the devil. See, that's the scriptures is talking about. They living and seeing things through his eyes because it's clear who is ruling and it's clear who is living inside of another nation being a slave. That's not a hard concept. You got people that's in their homeland, and you got people that's living outside of their homeland in another land. See, you got immigrants. Now you got people in America that's so-called immigrants. You got the Asians, the Arabs, the East Indians, the Africans, the Persians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Hamites. These individuals migrated from a land, and that land have its own government, its own money, its own military, and they came to America and they live in America. But you also have a group of people that live in other nations outside of their original land. You see, and these individuals don't even know where their land is. They don't know where they come from. And they can't go to no land because they don't even know what it is. See, they can't go back to China. They can't go back to India. They can't go back to Africa. They can't go back to Persia. They can't go right back to Saudi Arabia where the Arabs live, because those lands are not their land, but they are in all of those lands. And so the scriptures give a clear indication of what's going on. So when we started getting to the prophecies about these Israelites going back to their homeland or going to be given their own land and having slaves of the Gentiles, people get all into their feelings because they don't want to recognize and understand that the Gentiles is in rulership. The Gentiles is ruling right now. They not no slaves in nobody's land, involuntarily. See, you can volunteer yourself into all kind of mess, but you're not in a spiritual forced situation. See, you can choose to be a bum when you got $1 billion in the bank, but you want to live in disguise and be a bum. You can be the biggest dope dealer in Jamaica, making all the money, but you want to walk around town as a woman to disguise yourself. See, you can do all of that and volunteer that, but you ain't forced to do it. See, the children of Israel is forced to do it through the Spirit. They have no other choice. It's a part of the curses that's placed on them. And this is what a Christian just can't understand. See, a Christian want to think that everybody is ruling right now and everybody is the same. Everybody is not the same, and that's why the scriptures can clearly give you a narrative and you can match it up just like a puzzle that you putting together. Now let me get these foundational scriptures to let you know that the nations are ruling. Now let's see here. Now when you go into Psalms 2 and 2, it say, why do the heathen rage, and why do the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. So they taking counsel against the Israelites, all these other nations, all of these rulers, these kings. And what was the counsel that they was taking? What was the benefit of this counsel? It was the same thing. It's like in the time of Esther, when Haman was trying to get rid of the Israelites. The counsel was to get rid of them and punish they behind. And this was the counsel too. Let me see, in Lamentation. Um, okay, I want a specific verse. Might be in 4. Here it is, verse 12. It say the kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. See, these kings of the earth, they was trying to get to these Israelites because the Lord had a protection around the Israelites. See, when the Israelites went and destroyed, when the Egyptians got destroyed and they went through the Red Sea and Pharaoh got drowned in the Red Sea, all of these nations was hearing that the Lord is protecting the Israelites. And the word was going out throughout the earth. You see, that's what he said in Romans 9 and 17. So his name can be declared throughout the earth. See, his name or his actions was being declared throughout the earth that he was protecting the Israelites. And they was mad and they taking up counsel against the Israelites. Look at Psalms 83 and 3. It say they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden one. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. And then you go into the nations that are confederate, that's coming against the Israelites. See, that's ruling right now. See, you got the tabernacles of Edom, which is the so-called white man, Ishmaelites, the Arab, Moab, the Chinese, Hagarenes, the African, Gabal and Ammon, the Japanese, Amalek, the so-called small hats over there in the Holy Land. It say the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, another Samoa, Hamite African. And these nations are trying to come against the Israelites and get rid of them because they want to be in rulership. Let me get what is it? Where is it? Zechariah. Is it 11 and 5? It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. See, who is who's possess the possessors are the people that's ruling. See, because the Israelites were scattered. So in their land, where they make the laws, they're ruling, and the Israelites can't do nothing. It says, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Their own shepherds pity them not. Look at verse 6. It says, for I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, says the Lord, but lo, I will deliver the men every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king. They shall smite the land, and out of their hand will I not deliver them. So he sent them into other people's land, in the lands of these other kings, and he wasn't going to deliver they behind. Now, when you go into, let's see here, because it talks about the possessors. Isaiah 14 and 2, it say, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Who is their oppressors? Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them. See, these are the possessors, oppressors, or massa in the Hebrew, of Israel. See, this is who massa is. And you had the Israelites calling them exactly that during the days of the cotton field and the sugar cane. See, massa. See, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own land. See, the kings of the earth got their own land, they got their own military, their own king. But the Israelites don't have this. They are captives. And what did Yahweh say? He said, he was talking to the Israelites, telling the women not to cry for him, but to cry for their children. Then he said, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captives into all nations. So the Israelites was going to be sent into all nations as slaves. And it says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So the time of the Gentiles is when the Israelites is in slavery. Is when they have captives in their land, and they done named the captives after themselves. That's why you got the blacks and Hispanics with Spanish names and English names, but they came from the west coast of Africa, and the other ones was native to this land here, where they were speaking Hebrew. All kind of Hebrew artifacts is being found in this land and in Puerto Rico and all of these other places. See, they was not speaking no English and no Spanish until the so-called Edomites, the Edomites, who was the so-called white man, came over here and doing colonization and colonized these people and put his name on them. That goes along with the prophecy in Joel, where it says that Edom would be the main one that's selling the Israelites. There it is in Joel 3:19, it says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Now, Egypt can go for the so-called Hamites, but it's also go for spiritually Edom. It says, and Edom which is the so-called white man, they were some of the main ones selling the Israelites. When you go into Amos chapter 1 and 6, it says, "Thus says the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom." See, Israelites is going to be delivered up to the Edomites. That's why in Psalms 83, they was the first one mentioned. And so this is one of the main things these people don't realize. You got James 1 and 1. It says, "James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting." See, the Israelites are scattered abroad. Then when you go into St. John 7 and 38, I think, maybe 35. Yeah, 7 and 35. It says, then said the Jews among themselves, "Whither will we go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?" See, when they was among the Gentiles, they were slaves, and the Gentiles was ruling. The Gentiles is in rulership. And you go to 11 or 11 and 50. I'm gonna start at 50. It says, "Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man shall die for the people, and that whole nation perish not." Talking about the nation of the Israelites. "And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation, not for believers." 52, "And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad." See, only the Israelites were scattered abroad, and they was slaves in these other nations. Okay. And you got another one. Let's see here. You had John talking about they was scattered. Deuteronomy 28:68 or 28:64. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy father have known, even wood and stone." So the Israelites was going to be scattered into these other nations. And this is how they was going to be ruled over by these other kings. And I think Micah talks about this. 4 and 9. It says, "Now why do thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in you? Is thy counselor perished? For pains have taken thee as a woman in travail." So the Israelites wasn't gonna have a king when they was in captivity in these other people's land. That king couldn't give them counsel. See, and they didn't have no military to protect them. And the next verse tells you about them being in slavery in this Babylon, where they're gonna be delivered and redeemed out of the hand of their enemies. And that's the verse I wanted out of the New Testament in Luke. Say, this is what being saved was all about. Luke 1 and 71, it said that we shall be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. 74, that he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. So this is what the scriptures is talking about. That the Israelites is going to go back into their homeland and they're going to receive their blessing. See, was the blessing that they're going to have a longer rulership than the other nations and the Gentiles. The Gentiles not going to so-called get grafted into their blessing. The Gentiles that have received their blessing and they enjoying their blessing today. See, they line in glory in their own land. They're kings. They're rich off of the labor of the Israelites. That's why in Zechariah 11:5 it says, I am rich. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. See, in Revelation 18 it talks about them being living. Let's go ahead and get it. And see, this is what these other people don't understand. They say we Christians and we trying to keep the laws. Some of the laws. What is it? Sin unto death. We not committing these sins unto death, and we're Christians. And why he not gonna look out for us? Why we not gonna get the kingdom of heaven? They don't understand the kingdom of heaven is a government, and they're not gonna get the government. They got their government now. Where is it? Verse 9, it say the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lamentate for her when they see the smoke of her burning. See, they living deliciously with her. They're rich with her, with America. See, they can come to America, get rich, and go back to their other country, send their money back to their homeland. They trading with America, getting rich that way. See, they all enjoying these big cities with all of the luxury and delicacies, right along with the Edomites who run America. See, they come over here in America, give them gifts and grants and things to help them to live deliciously. See, everybody living deliciously by the children of Israel is going through the curses. They can't get along with each other. They don't got no women that get along with them. The children don't get along with them. They leave the children and the women, see, and live like vagabonds in the earth. The families are destroyed. They don't have a military to help them. They don't have the good education. See, they blind to what's going on. They lost sheep. They're not living deliciously with the so-called white man, even though they can do that but that's gonna end up being death for them, because it is some Negroes that's living in luxury, but as a nation, they're not living in luxury like these other nations. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to Yah. Oh, you know what? It was verse 3 I wanted to get. It say, for all nations have drunk of the wine of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. So the merchants in all these other nations are waxing rich. And the Israelites can't even, that's the curse on the Israelites in Deuteronomy 28 and 16 and 17. That they're not going to be able to start a business. They're going to work for somebody else, and they can't store up no pretty much money in the bank. See, they're not going to have a prosperous business. And so these are curses on the Israelites. And these other nations don't have these curses. They waxing rich with their businesses and their merchandise that they selling. So This is what a simple-minded Christian don't understand. They worried about grafting somebody in that's a part of a nation that's got kingdoms. See, they got a homeland. They got governments and military looking out for them. They can join the military in their land with their people. See, they can join the government. They can be rich if they decided to. But the Israelites don't have that. That's why the kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites. That's why being rich and having slaves is for the Israelites, because he already blessed the Gentiles with that already. They living in that blessing right now. See, they probably got a Hispanic or a black or somebody working for them somewhere, and they living the rich life now. And if they ain't, this is the time period where the curses is starting to transform onto them. That's the and only instances why they not enjoying the blessing, because the blessing is starting to turn into a curse due to Deuteronomy 30:7. But okay, I'm gonna leave it there for sure. All praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, Bashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.